Across the endless desert, three travelers journeyed together, unaware that destiny was preparing a trial that would change their lives forever. Dark clouds gathered without warning. Within moments, the peaceful horizon transformed into a scene of fear and uncertainty. Rain poured from the heavens as darkness swallowed the land, leaving the three men stranded in the wilderness. Desperate for safety, they rushed toward a secluded cave hidden deep within the rugged mountain. Inside the cave, relief briefly replaced fear. At last, they believed the storm could no longer harm them. Yet beyond the cave walls, the mountain itself was shifting. High above, a massive boulder broke free from its resting place. With terrifying force, the giant stone crashed downward, shaking the mountain and sealing the cave entrance completely. In a single moment, daylight vanished. The cave became a prison of darkness, silence, and uncertainty. Refusing to surrender, the men pushed against the stone with all their strength, hoping to reclaim their freedom. The boulder did not move, not even the slightest distance. Their desperate struggle had achieved nothing. No one knew where they were. No rescue would come. Every earthly means of survival had failed. As despair settled over them, one man spoke calmly, directing their thoughts toward a higher source of hope. He reminded them that only sincere deeds performed for God could now become their path to salvation. The first traveler lowered his head and searched his memory for a deed known only to himself and his Creator. His thoughts returned to a distant village where his life revolved around hard work and devotion to his elderly parents. Each day, he made certain that his parents received food and drink before anyone else in his household. From sunrise to sunset, he guided his flock across vast lands, working tirelessly to provide for his family. One evening, the search for pasture carried him far away, delaying his return until deep into the night. When he finally arrived home, he found his elderly parents already asleep beside their simple bed. He stood torn between two choices: wake them from their rest or leave them without their evening milk. Around him, his hungry children cried for food, their small hands pulling desperately at his clothes. Despite exhaustion and pressure, he remained beside his parents, refusing to place anyone before them. Hour after hour passed in silence as he stood patiently, waiting for the first light of dawn. Only when his parents awoke did he offer them the milk, honoring their rights before all others.
What is happening?
Remembering this sacrifice, he raised his hands and prayed for God's mercy and deliverance.
We need to get out of here.
At once, the mountain responded. The giant stone shifted slightly, and a narrow beam of light appeared. Hope entered the cave for the first time, yet the opening remained far too small to escape. The second traveler reflected on a moment when temptation nearly overcame him and changed his destiny forever. For many years, he admired a woman from his family, yet she always protected her honor and dignity. Then famine struck the land, leaving many desperate. Eventually, hardship drove her to seek his help. Blinded by desire, he offered wealth in exchange for something that should never have been demanded. Faced with starvation and despair, she reluctantly agreed, believing she had no other path. But at the crucial moment, she spoke words that pierced his heart and awakened his conscience. Suddenly, the fear of God overwhelmed every selfish desire that had once controlled his thoughts. He stepped away immediately, leaving both the money and the woman untouched and protected. Back in the cave, he prayed that this act of restraint would become a means of salvation. The boulder moved once more. Fresh air entered the cave, and sunlight illuminated their hopeful faces. Freedom was now within sight. Yet one final obstacle remained between the men and their escape. The third traveler stepped forward, recalling a story defined by honesty, responsibility, and unwavering integrity. Years earlier, he had employed many workers, ensuring that each received their rightful wages. One laborer left in anger before collecting his payment, abandoning only a small measure of grain. Rather than claiming it for himself, the man treated the forgotten wage as a sacred trust. He invested it carefully over the years until it grew into wealth beyond imagination. Many years later, the laborer returned, old and poor, asking for the wages he once abandoned. To his astonishment, he was told that an entire valley of wealth belonged to him. Certain that he was being mocked, the laborer struggled to believe what he was hearing. But the promise was genuine. Every animal and every possession was returned without hesitation. The third man completed his prayer, asking God to accept his honesty and grant their release. The mountain finally surrendered. The colossal stone rolled away, and the cave opened completely. Bathed in sunlight, the three travelers stepped into freedom, saved by sincere deeds hidden from the world. This story is more than history. It is a timeless reflection of the struggles found in every human life. Many people face their own caves, illness, loss, hardship, or despair that seems impossible to escape. When every worldly solution fails, sincere deeds performed in secret may become the key to relief. Honor, self-restraint, and justice may go unseen by people, but never by the Creator. And sometimes, those hidden virtues possess the power to move mountains. The cave was never merely a cave. It was a reminder that every crisis has a door, every darkness has a light, and every sincere act leaves an other known only to God. When all paths seem closed, the quiet power of sincerity can open doors no human strength could ever unlock.